Tēnā koutou and good day to everyone. Today we're launching the Grocery Wholesale Supply Inquiry Preliminary Findings. The key finding that I want to ensure that everyone understands is that behavioural change is required to enable an effective wholesale access regime. We've identified various problems and limitations through our inquiry. The first is that promotional funding provided by suppliers to retailers is very abundant. This amounts to about $5 billion. And this is one of the most important factors why wholesale customers can't get prices that are reasonable for them to on-sell their products. Other retailers just don't get the benefits of this promotional funding because there aren't any systems in place to provide it to the wholesale customer. There are also significant gaps in the range of products that the RGRs are providing to the wholesale customers. Now, the wholesale access regime is premised on giving the industry an early opportunity to achieve outcomes sought by the Act. Behavioural change is required from both the grocery retailers and suppliers if this voluntary compliance approach to wholesale is to work. So what do we expect from both the grocery retailers and the suppliers? We expect the grocery retailers to make wholesale offers that pass on the promotional funding to their customers. So this will involve developing new systems so that they can in fact satisfy suppliers that the funding given through to the customers are passed on to consumers and that there isn't just investment buying. They also need to expand the product range to include more of the frequently bought products in their own stores. And this may include low-priced products like private label. From a supplier perspective, what do we expect the suppliers to do? Suppliers should be allocating more of their rebates, discounts, and payments to smaller retailers, either directly or working with the grocery retailers in the wholesale system to get systems in place to pass these promotional investments to the customers. We would also like to see a reduction in the use of promotional funding in favour of average pricing that is stable over time. This will encourage more everyday low pricing and also provide efficiencies within the whole industry. So what were our preliminary findings? We found sufficient evidence to impose or recommend additional regulations. I think it's important to understand this. The wholesale regime is not working as intended, and we need to make sure that change occurs if this regime is to deliver benefits. However, at this stage, we consider that the least cost alternative is not for us to impose additional regulations, but for us to provide an opportunity for both the grocery retailers and also for the suppliers to make changes and effect these changes so that the wholesale market is more effective. Our expectations of behavioural change in the wholesale market are also laid out on this slide, where on a competitive wholesale price, we would expect much sharper pricing. We would also expect suppliers to develop ways to reduce price discrimination. So this is either offering these promotional funds directly to smaller players or do it through the wholesale market. We also expect a comprehensive range of products should be in the wholesale market. What are the next steps? Our inquiry preliminary findings paper will be open for submissions for a period of 6 weeks. You're welcome to provide your submissions and any comments to the email that is noted on the slide. Please mark it for the inquiry of the findings paper. And I also want to point out that we intend to publish all submissions on our website. So if you've got any confidential information in your submission, please make sure that it is marked accordingly and that it can be found in the report. You can also use our anonymous reporting tool if you don't want to be identified. We'll look to organise further webinars and workshops during this consultation period, and we'll be providing more details in due course. It's important that you contact us with your opinions and questions so that we can take them into account. But most importantly, I just want to re-emphasize that behavioural change is required to enable an effective wholesale access regime, and that is both from the grocery retailers and from major suppliers. Thank you for your time.